accounting themselves today, Malky must be a wee bit disappointed not to take anything out of it.
Yeah, I think when I look at our performance, I was delighted with the way that we played tactically. I knew that coming here, Michael's got his team playing well, and I knew that they're desperate to try and overload that midfield area. And I thought in the first half we really had a good shape to make sure that didn't happen. And we broke on them, and I thought we'd managed to get chances, which I thought we got 2 or 3 in the first half. Disappointed just before half time we couldn't clear our box to lose the goal, but what we said at half time was to be patient out of possession because we will get chances, which we did have in the second half. Disappointed obviously in the little bit of fortune they got in the second goal. We had one in the first half where Yandanda hits the shot and Goldson just gets his head hit and the goalkeeper doesn't even see it, so similar sort of thing. But even then we have the chance if Nohan goes anywhere else except in the middle, it's a goal. So overall I suppose we don't win points today, but it gives my players confidence going forward.
Okay, good performance. Were you disappointed that I seen you out in the touchline trying to get the boys to move forward, just maybe a wee bit deep towards the end of the first half? Obviously it's really difficult when Rangers pressed, Connor Goldson moved right up. Was that a kind of disappointment that they couldn't get out at that point?
No, not really. I think unless you stand there as an opposition manager at Parkhead and Ibrox, I don't think you quite get the damage that can be done to you. You can come here and lose 4 and it can be going on 8 in any given day, especially when you're in the form that Michael's got his team in at the moment. So you've got to have tactical nous as to when to come, when to not come, because you can play into their hands and you can come out and leave huge spaces behind you, and they've got good players that can break lines and score. So I suppose to limit Rangers to there's times of possession that you give them possession and give up possession, and there's times to actually squeeze space. So yeah, and in answer to your question, there's times where I want us to be pressing a little bit higher, but that's not as easy as just saying it.
Malky, is it a painful way to lose the game, considering you've gone 1 down, really difficult time to concede, got yourself back into it, and then a deflected free kick that leaves the keeper a chance?
Yeah, the actual goal itself is one of those things that's, I think it was going into Ross's hands. There wasn't even a lot of power on the shot or a lot of bend on it, and it's what I ask players to do in terms of be strong and high and big in the wall. But you get these things. It's just part of the league. It was disappointing at the time, but again, it didn't stop them. It didn't put their head down, and we pressed near the end to try and get the equaliser, which on another day I think we could have.
You said your players can take confidence from this. Michael was just in as well, praising your team, that there was 2 teams in the game which you don't often see here. You do believe that your players can take this into games against, not games at Ibrox, games back, but other games, important games at the bottom.
Yeah, I think it's important. I think when certainly in the group of teams that were around at the moment in the second half of the season, when you look and see one of the opposition are going to Parkhead and Ibrox, you kind of hope that it's going to be 4. So I think we lost the points today, but I don't think the goal difference. The goal difference certainly helps us small today in terms of how close the game was. What it does, it gives the players evidence, or it gives me evidence to show the players that going into the next number of games in that bottom area, we can compete with everybody and anyone. We've had Celtic and Rangers at Parkhead and Ibrox in the last 6 or 7 weeks, and 15 minutes to go in both games. The games are tight and we're in both games and we're taking points from them. So that should exude confidence in them and belief in them to actually go and kick on to the rest of the league and the rest of the games, because there's not a lot between the rest of the teams, I don't think, between now and the end of the season. I'm really happy with the strength and depth I've got right now coming out of the window. I'm really happy with the window, the way the owner and Stephen Ferguson, myself have managed to work to actually get the players in that we've got, because we've got some more strength and depth, and the bench looks certainly healthier, and bringing in Eamon Brophy and Simon Murray gives much needed help to our forward line.
Okay guys, thank you.
Thank you. Thanks guys.